Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby and today we're taking a look at the Yakima GrandTour Lo rooftop box here on our 2017 Toyota RAV4. So this is going to be an excellent way of helping you manage a little bit of your cargo that you want to bring with you, and primarily if you do find yourself skiing and snowboarding, this just might be the rooftop box for you. Why is that? Well, we do have some pretty nice features here with 15 cubic feet and 165 pounds of weight capacity, and boasting enough room for up to 215 centimeter long skis and snowboards. This is going to be a great little rooftop box for you. One thing I like about it too, pretty low profile. If you're comparing this to something like the regular GrandTour, you can see not as much room going towards the top and really maximizing the length we have here today. So with a 91-inch long exterior length here, you can see quite large. However, it does look pretty good here on the RAV4. The one thing I will say, how I have it set is to where that hatch is going to walk right up to the butt end of our box. You are seeing just a little bit of overhang here on our window. Now, when you are driving, definitely not going to be in the world. It's kind of right above where your rear mirror is sitting, as well as kind of that filament they put at the top to block that sun. So you're really not losing any visibility, which is great. And I think it does look really good here on our RAV4 today. So I'm just going to be loading up some of our ski and our boards. What I like about this though, a lot of length. You can see these guys are probably standard to a little bit smaller than standard, and still plenty of room here inside our box. Now, one thing you may also want to do is grab yourself a tie-down kit. Now, we do have a couple here available at etrailer.com, and that can be very helpful with actually securing this. One thing that can be nice too, if you are a little bit on the shorter side, you can see already for me, about 6'1", really hard to get my ski all the way to the other side. Now, a great thing about the GrandTour though, we can open up that other side to gain access to it to make it a little easier. So we got a lot of our gear loaded up. The one thing I will say though, not going to be great for a lot of big items. I did have a little bit of trouble of actually fitting in my bigger, bulkier blue backpack, just because we don't really have that much room, especially with our skis taking up the majority of that. Now, I do have the 3 skis in there and the board and couple of my boots and a variety of other cargo options, so I do like to see that we can fit a lot in here. Again though, it's only 15 cubic feet and you really don't have that much vault to your ceiling here. So if you're really worried about that, there are going to be other rooftop box options. The GrandTour alone itself is a pretty good one, and the Yakima Skybox is a great little option as well, just to start getting you more room. But the one thing to that though, you start losing out on this extra track length, and that's something that was really handy of getting my skis in here. And if that's our primary concern, I think we're in a good position. The one thing I'll say though, here at the front end, we definitely get a loss to that ceiling. So I was only able really to fit something small here, like our boots or some of our other bags that are smaller. So to actually get our box installed here on our Toyota RAV4, there's a couple things we want to keep in mind. The big one for me is, if we're talking about managing our cargo, we still want to be able to open up our hatch. What I suggest doing, open up your hatch here on your RAV4. That way you can see how close your box is allowed to get. Now, of course, this is going to be a little bit up to you if you're not too comfortable with this being that close. If you're worried about rub or anything like that in this position, maybe you can move it a little bit more away. But for us, I've set my rear crossbar at about 22.5 inches from the back post here of our raised rail. That puts you at about 19.5 to the inside. You have a little bit of room to work with there, but that can be a helpful measurement if you just want to throw your crossbars on here and start getting your box in a good spot to where it's not interacting with that hatch. Then we need to bring ourselves to the inside of our box. Of course, it's going to be helpful to have our key here so we can make sure that we're unlocked. And then we simply need to open this up and lift it and bring ourselves to the inside here. So it can be helpful to have a little step stool or something like that. One thing I really like is the Moki doorstep. Let me grab that and show you why I like it. I really do like it because it gives you just a step above the rest, which is great. You simply place it right there in your door latch, and that gives you another foot up, which can be really helpful if you do find yourself just accessing your box from the one side, not wanting to have to open it up on the other. But again, that is kind of one of the advantages of this guy. It is just a little helpful. You can see here today, maybe not super needed for myself because I'm so tall, but if I really needed to, this could really help me get it in here. And especially when we are tightening down our latches here on the inside, that can be very helpful if you want to do it all in one go. Well, let's hop on, take a closer look how we get this installed. Here on the underside, we can see we have our little clamp, and what's nice about these guys, really easy to shift around of our box. And talking about crossbar placement, you need to be at least 24 to 38 inches apart. So do keep that in mind. Here today on the RAV4, not too hard to accomplish, which is great. And all we simply need to do, slot that around our crossbar. And here on the inside, we can see we have a little tie off, and this whole plate again can shift. We have that entire length, we can see. But once we have it in place, all we got to do is take our included knob. It stores right here on the inside, which can be helpful, which is kind of cool. Just hangs right there on both sides of our box. We need it, but then we simply insert it in righty-tighty to bring up that clasp. So really like how this works. I think the biggest issue for people is, again, going to be reaching across. What's great about our box here today is we can open it on both sides, the GrandTour. Great for that, which is really nice to see. And again, that Moki doorstep can be excellent if you're having trouble really reaching across, but not wanting to open up the side, every other side, which can be nice. But as we tighten here, we're going to be listening for some clicks. That's going to be letting us know that we are torqued down. And of course, though, let's double check our connections on each different one of our foot pads. But other than that, we look like we're in a really good position, ready to rock and roll. Well, as we saw, that install doesn't take too much time, which is great. And overall, I'm a really big fan of this rooftop box. Why that is, we have that extra length that we need for any of our skis or our snowboards. The one caveat I will say, though, it is very low profile, as the name would suggest, which, you know, has its pros and its cons. If you're needing something to start carrying a lot of bulky gear, especially luggage with you to your trip, maybe this isn't the best option, albeit the RAV4 does have a lot of spacious room, but you know, we are getting a cargo box for a reason. So I think it's a pretty niche choice for people out there. Again, if you're not needing your big bulky items and you need your skis and your snowboards to your destination, just might be the right choice for yourself and your RAV4. Overall though, it does look really good. I love the quality that Yakima always puts into their products, which is great to see. One last little thing too, those locking cores can be key-to-like to a variety of other Yakima accessories, which is great. So if you do have any kind of hitch-mounted accessories or any other Yakima accessories you might have at home, that can be a great way of getting them all key-to-like. Reduce that keychain down, which is great. But yeah, still overall, excellent option here for your Toyota RAV4. We have a couple other options available here at etrailer.com. The GrandTour itself is a bit nicer just for a little bit more cargo, and the Yakima Skybox is never a bad way to go as well. But otherwise, I'll leave that up to you. I think that about does it for our look here today at the Yakima GrandTour Lo rooftop mounted cargo box here on our 2017 Toyota RAV4. I'm Bobby. Thanks for watching.